What's up, shitheads? It's Ryan and Travis back with another episode of Dude Sucking Shit. This is episode number 44, Jackie Robinson style.
44?
Yeah, wasn't he number 44?
Pretty sure it's number 42.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Fuck Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Back in the day when like America's Funniest Videos was sending in tapes and not just like uploading it to the website,
Yes.
how many people do you think sent like stupid, like inappropriate, complete horseshit stuff to them? Like, do you think that someone ever banged their wife and then sent it in because it would be funny? Like,
First question. Did you go to lunch at 1:30 recently?
yes, I did. And I saw them they were saying the P.O. box that you could send it to or upload it to AFV.com.
Oh my God, man. That's so funny because at work on Mondays and Wednesdays is my late shift.
Yeah.
And I go to lunch at 2:00 so I can watch King of the Hill.
Right.
But if I accidentally get up there a little bit early, America's Funniest Home Videos is on. But yeah, so definitely, man, people for sure sent in stuff that was completely fucking inappropriate.
Do you
for the
think
show.
that? How many times do you think that, like, by accident, like a legit accident, that someone sent in like a fucking sex tape to them?
Every 10th tape.
You think it was often?
I think it was all the time. I think it got to the point that the people who checked the tapes, I bet the first time they came across one, they were like, nice.
Imagine that job though, for real. Like you have to scour through because there's, in America, anyone will try to fucking do anything they can for money. The insane
For fame.
Yeah, yes, that too. The insane amount of people sending in videos must have been crazy. And this was at a time when you had to send in like a fucking tape and they had to put it in a VCR, rewind it probably, and then fucking watch it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like, yeah, I bet they had to watch so many tapes that the first time they saw like people fucking, they were like, oh yeah. And then by the time they saw it for the 100th time, they were like, fucking these people are gross. Like, why are they sending us these fucking gross ass videos?
It'd be very funny if the same person just kept doing it like every week, sending the exact same copy of that.
Just them ferociously masturbating, like just dripping sweat.
And you can like progressively, like, those people, those psychos
using mustard as lube.
Those fucking lunatics that take a picture of themselves every day for X amount of years.
Yes.
And you can see their hair grow and their face keeps shifting. Imagine it was like that. So it was just every week it was like him jerking up and his hair kept getting longer and the crow's feet around his eyes kept getting wider. And his balls were getting smaller and like bluer.
And dragging.
Oh
man.
The progression.
That's so funny. Yeah, dude, it would be such a fucking pain in the ass when you would have originally had to go through all those home movies.
Dude.
It'd be a fucking nightmare.
It would be fun. There must be a legit team. And I'm not talking like 3 or 4 people. They must have had a lot of people sorting through these.
Oh, for
Because they had to
sure.
categorize them too, like diving board accidents, ballet accidents, idiot on a skateboard, someone brushing snow off a roof that falls on them. Like, there's so many like bad proposals, wedding pass outs. There's so fucking many.
America's Funniest Home Videos too was so ahead of its time.
Oh yeah.
Because the commentary that used to be over it, like especially the original with Bob Saget,
Yeah.
like him
Those
just
crazy
cracking
voices.
jokes and everything. Yeah, and like you've seen Ridiculousness
Oh,
with
yeah.
Rob Dyrdek and then Tosh.0.
Yep.
Like these shows are just essentially the new version.
America's Funniest Videos literally made an ecosystem of that type of, because there's so many more that are still on like YouTube and
Yeah.
like E-Bombs World I think had one, and
That's right.
you know what I mean? Like that you're right. That's funny.
I feel like Tosh.0 was the true master of it though.
I never cared for Tosh. I found America's Funniest Videos was better. It's because they didn't harp on the same thing for too long. I have like wicked ADD, and I can't sit there and be like, okay, the guy's still talking about this guy. All right, I know personally a guy that had a video that went on to Tosh and got like millions and millions and millions of views from it.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, Ridiculousness was good for its own thing. Like, Ridiculousness was fun for Rob Dyrdek's interactions with his co-host and the guest.
Yeah.
Like, that was a different format altogether.
Yeah.
Like, they would do almost like a full, like, breakdown of the video.
Right.
Which was really fucking funny as well.
I think that even Mr. T had one called I Pity the Fool.
Oh, no
Like,
way.
It was the same exact concept, but it was as those other ones. But so I thought about it while we were just talking right now. So those videos that I mentioned about the fucking guy that takes a stupid picture of himself every morning,
Yeah.
or whatever. Imagine like someone doing that compilation of them actually jerking off, like taking a selfie every day while they jerk off for 5 fucking
But
years.
wait, do you see the dick or do you just see their face?
Let's say that they're sitting down and it's waist up. So you can see their dick, their hand, what hand they're using, their muscles flexing. Maybe they're growing pecs, they're getting abs, they get hairy, they get fucking shaved chest,
fat.
their faces, their tongue sticking out. Like their hair starts to sweat, it grows, it shrinks, it gets shaved, they grow a beard and lose it.
Do you know
how
what would be
funny that
even
would be?
more impressive? Is like if that 5 years of video of those clips at the beginning was like you starting to masturbate and the last one was a cum shot.
Yes, man. Dude, I'm not even kidding. As gross and as fucked up as it sounds, if that video somewhat exists,
I'd watch it.
I would fucking watch it because it's so funny. Like, that's the kind of humor I like, man. It's just so fucking not okay.
Dude, that level of fucking humor is
I should
hilarious.
fucking make one. I don't want to fucking jerk off every day, though, honestly.
Man, have you ever heard of, speaking of fucked up videos, glass ass?
No. What the fuck is glass ass?
Are you being serious?
Well, I mean, tell me. I might not have heard this term before, but I might know what it is.
So down in the States, or maybe like it might have been, I don't know what kind of jar it was. But anyways, it was like a fucking Cheese Whiz jar, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like one of those glass Cheese Whiz jars.
Yeah.
And the dude is sitting on it, like putting it up his ass. And
I'm having a hard time breathing.
and it breaks in his
No.
ass.
I've heard of like one guy, one jar, one man, one jar, whatever.
I think that's the same thing.
Yeah, okay, I have heard of that.
I've like when we were talking about it when we were fucking teenagers, we call it glass ass.
I want to make it very clear. If I ever meet someone that ended up being one of those people that did that, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. Like, I'm gonna fuck you right up.
And the most fucked up part, like, it wasn't like a grocery store Cheese Whiz jar. It was like a Costco Cheese Whiz jar.
The big ones.
It was huge.
Dude, fucking Cheese Whiz is
Yeah,
not,
dude.
that's already not okay.
And like, so the video's so fucked. So it's like he's going down on like the open part of the Cheese Whiz jar.
Yeah.
And the base
oh
is
no,
like,
the air's gotta go somewhere.
dude, and like you just see it, like you see the base like that, and then you just see it like
It implode? Oh,
No, it
because
doesn't.
the base of the jar has to go.
It like
it won't break
splits.
because it's so much thicker glass.
Yes, man.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. His asshole definitely got fucking destroyed. It's a wonder he didn't die, actually.
Oh, he had to pull a wild goatee to get all that glass out.
Well, I bet he had to go to the hospital for sure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just had the dumbest statement that Travis has ever said. I bet he had to go to the washroom. Or shit, fuck.
It's at the hospital.
I know, but I said washroom for some reason.
Yeah.
How'd that just happen?
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
My mom used to work in an emergency room at one point.
Did you ever find a guy with a jar in his ass?
No, but she said the amount of times people would come in with stuff stuck up their ass.
Yeah, and everything
was
just like the old Seinfeld
ridiculous.
line. From the Seinfeld line, there was an episode where fucking Kramer got license plates that said "ass man" on it,
Yeah.
but they weren't supposed to be his. They just mixed up the names of the DMV. And then he's like, I got these ass man plates. He's like, maybe it was some proctologist that had it. And anyway, later on in the episode, he makes like a little statue of Jerry Seinfeld out of fusilli, and they called it Fusilli Jerry, like fusilli noodles.
Yeah.
And he's like, Fusilli Jerry, it's made out of fusilli because you're silly. Anyway, it's sitting on later on in the episode, that Fusilli Jerry statue, which is fucking stupid, it was so dumb. Like, you could tell this setup, the producers just didn't know what to do. So they make this statue, it's sitting there. George Costanza's dad falls on it and it corkscrews into his ass because it's fucking fusilli, right? It corkscrews. Yeah. And they're at the proctologist later, and Kramer goes to the guy, hey, are you the ass man? And he's like, winks at him. Yeah, it is. Anyway, you hear fucking Costanza in the background going, it's 1 in a million, doc. Because that's how every object in your ass story starts out. It's 1 in a million. But they always start that way.
Do you remember the bit in Jackass where Ryan Dunn put the fucking dinky?
Steve-O was supposed to do it, but his dad said, no, I'd lose respect to you.
I'd be real disappointed.
Yeah, that's it.
But then he ends up fucking doing a beer enema a couple of years later. But, man, there's one part of that particular when the doctor's doing the x-ray or whatever and gets the results back, and it's like, it appears you have a small toy in your anus.
Yes.
And fucking Ryan Dunn is just like, angle or parallel?
Because he was worried about when it has to come back out.
I'm fucking dying. I thought it was so funny. And he tries to convince the doctor that he ate it.
Yeah.
How it got in there.
Well, I got really drunk last night or something like that. Didn't he say? It wouldn't have made it that far that quick anyway.
Yeah. Oh, fucking so funny. Did you spill something?
No, I just touched my phone somehow.
Oh.
And, yeah, anyway.
A cool thing for fans of the show that we're going to be doing this season.
This Formula One season.
So there, of course, we're going to sound like an ad for Formula One right now. I do need to. Where did I put my phone? There it is. Just so I can see this. So you'll want to download the Formula One app for anybody who's a fan of us.
You just go on their website. That's what I use. I don't use the app.
Website, and then you'll want the create an account and go into F1 Fantasy. So what we do with this, it's a really neat little system. It's all pre-built in there. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is build your team. So you'll build your team. You're given a budget to work with. You have to pick a constructor. But what we'd like to create is a community of our fans to go on and compete against us. And,
just so you know, I always have a really good team, but it always produces poor results.
Yeah, you always lose to me.
Well, there was a one-off. Dude, I did wicked the year prior to last. I actually did incredible.
The win last year is all that matters.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it up here. Where is it? So my lobby joined. So the name of the league is all caps DTS.
DTS. Dun, dun, dun,
For
dun.
dudes talking shit. Because I tried to make it dudes talking shit, but they said that can't be the title because it's profane.
You know how many times I ran into that setting this whole dick and shit joke show up?
Yeah, that's so. Also, maybe another thing to mention to our fans and listeners out there. One thing you'll probably notice, we're slowly transitioning to referring to the podcast on social media as DTS. So if you do see some changes there, that's just so we can.
It's still dudes talking shit. It's just we have letters now.
Yeah, we want to be able to advertise it as DTS when we need to, so we don't, or so we can advertise in certain places.
Yeah.
Do sponsored stuff. But yeah, F1, I think we're going to have a really fun season this year. There's some wild cards. If you're new to Formula One, March 19th on Netflix, Drive to Survive comes out. Check that out. That gets you up to speed with the upcoming season and join in on the fun. It's all just for fucking laugh. Anyways, DM us on Instagram if you'd like to hang out and be a part of it.
Fuck yeah, it's a ton of fun. Speaking of fan stuff, this is fucking fan appreciation 3 minute here. There was a couple of cool topics that were suggested to us.
Okay.
All right. One of them, it might not interest you as much, but it interests the fuck out of me. But the show, The Curse of Oak Island.
Yeah.
It's wildly fucking popular worldwide. In the United States, it's one of the biggest fucking shows on their television, which is insane.
Right.
But we have a friend from Down Under that has been watching. He's a couple seasons in, if I remember from the message correctly.
Right.
And he's asking how close we live to it. So, guys, we live like a half hour away from this fucking mysterious place.
We're very close.
I've been a fucking fan of this for all. I can't remember if we're on to season 7 or 8 right now, but I've watched it the whole time because I've known about it my whole fucking life. So anyway, it's this fucking crazy island here off the coast of Nova Scotia that's like not far from the mainland. Like we'll put it this way. I can literally throw a ball that far. Like we're talking like 100 or 200 feet.
Yeah, there's a small road built.
A causeway.
There's
been yeah. So anyway, it's this little fucking island, and way back in the 1600s, there was some family they were called the McGinnis brothers. They saw something at night shining over on this island. So they decided to get in their little paddle boat. They paddled over there, and they realized that there was like a pulley system and a lantern hanging from a tree. And they noticed right below it, the ground seemed to be like sunken in. It wasn't like flat like normal. So they decided to start like that night. It's fucking dark. It's moonlight. And like we're talking like candles and shit.
Yeah.
That's all they had. They didn't have a flashlight and all that. They decided to start digging. So they start fucking digging down. And that's when they realized this is like a fucking place where like basically pirates used to bury treasure and shit. So there, no one, still to this day, nobody knows exactly who was there, when they were there, and what they did. But all these years later, and like we're talking, people have been searching for the treasure for hundreds of years now.
Yeah.
And now with so much like, advanced technology and the fact that the TV show basically owns the island and shit, like no one still knows what the fuck happened, but they're finding so many interesting like artifacts. They're finding roads that have been buried.
They're actually finding stuff.
Holy fuck, they find a ton of stuff, man. Like nothing of like significant value. Like no, like they have found little pieces of gold, but like when I say little pieces, I'm talking a lot smaller than a fucking button on your fly of your pants.
Yeah.
Like we're talking little, but they've never found any massive treasure, but they found like metals and spikes and like tools and stuff that were only used like in blacksmithing times, like back in like they can pretty much date by the iron composition of it of when it was made.
Right.
Like they know this was when it was made, and they know what part of the world it even came from based on the ore that's used. So like they know all this shit. So they're finding lots of stuff like that. They find crazy amounts of wood way underground, like wood that has clearly been cut and like fire treated and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like it just grew from a tree root that fucking went astray. Like we're not near trees. Like we're a ways away from trees and deeper than roots would go.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like 180 feet deep
Right.
into the ground. So there was this massive treasure that was buried there. There's lots of different conspiracies about who was there. Like they're thinking like Spanish galleons went through there. They're thinking like Samuel de Champlain, who did a lot of the cartography for North America, like the mapping, everything like that. They
He
think
might have stopped off.
he might have. They think Archduke d'Andrade or whatever, d'Anville. They think it might have been him. They're one of the main things that they're thinking that it would have been basically pirates that were hired from a king of either France or Spain, one of those areas they're believing, to go and basically pirate ships, like, you know, like go take gold and treasures and shit from other ships in like the Caribbean area.
Right.
And then they're thinking that what happened was the captains of these ships or this fleet of ships maybe eventually said, you know what? Why am I doing all this work, putting me at risk?
I'm taking a cut.
I'm taking a cut. So they're thinking he may have went to this place, made the most elaborate place, like elaborate labyrinth, there's the words, of place to bury their treasure, go back, bring the spoils to them and say, this is what we got, King. And be like, yep, that's everything. Because there's no way to fucking record it all, and then he would be able to go
on theft,
right, and then he can go back and be rich in this new land that he basically can buy now because like he just stole all the. So they're thinking that might be one of the more reasonable things, but they're finding like what's called a cofferdam. So it's basically like you take a bunch of rocks and different sizes. You start like big rocks, then you fill them in with smaller rocks that go in between the cracks, and then smaller rocks and so on like that.
Right.
But then also to help prevent some waterproofing and create some sort of damming, they used a bunch of coconut fiber. Well, sweetheart, coconut fiber ain't nowhere near the North Atlantic.
No, sir.
It cannot be washed here.
Where would be the closest? Would be Florida.
Yeah, like fucking South Florida.
Yeah.
For coconut fiber, I don't even know if coconuts really grow in much in Florida, do they? Like I know they have palm trees, but not every palm tree means coconuts.
Right. I'm not too familiar on coconuts.
Now, I think it's a long ways away, but they're finding cool things like that. They're finding like a lot of old coins and everything.
Yeah.
And not to give away too many spoilers for anyone that might be actually watching the show and hasn't fully caught up because it's not on your TV, even you have to rely on like Netflix or whatever. They're still finding lots of dirt and wood and little things like pottery. They're finding like scripts, like leather bound like books, like the pieces of leather strapping from books. They found human fucking bone in like season 5. They found multiple pieces of like that they can actually test on, like big pieces of bone, human bone. The pieces were found together, but ain't from the same person. Whoa. In fact, they're from different descents of people. Like one was clearly like European Spanish, just based on like the DNA sampling or whatever,
Yeah.
and one was from somewhere else. So they're thinking that maybe they were slaves that were having to dig these. There's these wild flood tunnels, so you cannot get to wherever this treasure is. The most advanced technology we have to this day still can't get to it.
And I mean, it's always possible if this pirate knew how to get in and out of there. I guess it is possible before he died or anything that he took it all out. Like,
so,
if he knew he was doing his final sale.
Totally possible. There's no question that that's possible. The high hopes is that that's not what's, because people want to find it, right?
Of course.
But they're thinking it was like this treasure vault that's down there. And because they had these things called flood tunnels that are going like 200 feet away, like towards into the water, because like I said, it's an island.
Yeah.
So they built these. As soon as the air gets in, the water just whoosh, will rush in and drown everything. So there's been 6 people that have already drowned.
What?
Yeah, like trying to fucking get this treasure because they're digging down there. They make it like a shaft like adjacent to the main one.
Yeah.
They're digging down and then they try going over, and all of a sudden they run into one of these like man-made flood tunnels, and their entire operation is wiped out and they're killed. So there's been 6 people killed. The age-old theory is 7 people have to die before the treasure can reveal itself. Like, I don't know how much you want to read into that, but that's this theory anyway.
Right.
Well, now because it's so heavily supervised, the odds of someone dying it's slim to none. But there was a guy that was a slave in the United States during the French Revolution or whatever, the American Revolution. Like, so it was in the United
Civil War?
No, we're talking before that.
Oh
yeah, we're talking when slavery was okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, the American Revolution.
Right. So he escaped and helped the British. So the British rewarded him with a small lot of land on this island. So he was a slave, poor, still had nothing. Even after that, they just, okay, here's this tiny piece of land. And we're talking like so long ago, if you bought that land, you would have bought it for like $7.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that $7, thanks to inflation, would probably be like 17 grand.
Yeah.
Because it's still like off the beaten path, you know what I mean?
Right.
It might be more than that even. But so he became extremely wealthy at some point while he lived there. He was a cabbage farmer. So that's what he did. That area grows a lot of cabbage. He was a cabbage fucking farmer and got extremely wealthy and bought up a bunch of other plots of land on this thing. Now, the biggest thing that I believe after being like I'm trying to skim through this quickly.
Yeah, no,
like,
this is
they've managed to bring this show out for 8 fucking seasons. All right. Yeah. I believe he found the treasure because there ain't no money in cabbage. Not fucking money like this guy had. He became one of the wealthiest people in all of Nova Scotia.
Really?
Yes, from fucking cabbage.
No.
At a time when there was no such thing as like trucking and train operations and all that.
You were just selling to your local community.
People that knew that you existed, right? And we got to think. Quite honestly, this was at a time where even in Canada, you don't go buy stuff from a black guy. Okay, right. It doesn't happen so much. Like he, there's no way the guy got rich. He was, you know what I mean?
Right.
But a lot of people believe that it was him. Now, recent evidence has come out just in the past little bit, and this is going to be the biggest spoiler. They believe the people that found the treasure to begin with, like the treasure shaft, like when I was saying those kids saw the lantern and the little pulley and all that, they believe that this Samuel Ball guy helped them immediately and started digging down.
Right.
Because it was closer to his home. So that now people are starting to think, okay, he was actually part of them. It wasn't just these 2 brothers that ended up getting a couple of their friends. They're thinking it was those 2 brothers that helped and got their friends, but this other guy was actually with them too.
Oh.
So now they're thinking he's the one that found the ultimate treasure while the other 2 died trying.
And so they believe that the treasure may be out of there already.
Right. But there's like people going as far as saying like the Holy Grail would have been buried there, or like the Ark of the Covenant, things like that. Like things of like crazy religious and historical value.
Because it's basically like an Indiana Jones booby trap setup.
Yeah, but here's the part. So like at this point, I don't even care if there's a treasure there. I just want answers as to what happened, because now that they've excavated so much land, they've seen crazy amounts of shafts, most documented, because any engineer and archaeologist and shit, they track what they've done, and they also track what they found.
Right.
They're finding stuff that has never been documented whatsoever. They're finding like boat slipways.
Yeah.
That are like, okay, nobody has any record of this. So like they say that Oak Island was actually 2 islands at one point that were just super close together.
Yeah.
And that they sailed a Spanish galleon ship in between them.
And made one.
Filled the land so that like they basically blocked off like maybe we'll call it like a little like alleyway between these 2 small islands.
Yeah.
And then that made the water stagnant in there, turned into a swamp. The ship is essentially sank, right?
Yeah.
And then now there's a swamp there. And when you look at it through Google Earth or anything, you do any sort of like geology exams and stuff,
topography.
Nothing makes sense in this little gap. So this was just one man's theory based on just taking a wild guess at something.
Yeah.
So in the swamp, which they've drained a couple of times now, they're finding wood that they can trace back to like crazy ships and stuff, and like, but not enough to make up a ship. We're talking like a mast here, maybe a piece of lumber there, some
Right.
eye hooks and stuff. You know what I mean? Those like you drill into a rock to like tie a boat down.
Yeah.
Things like that. They just found a fucking road in a paved road. And when I say paved, I'm talking like cobblestone.
Yeah.
They just found one of those in there that they never knew about before. They had some idiot walking through the swamp, fucking chest deep, like with a stick tapping for like hard land. Finally, he started noticing, whoa, I feel like this is like a pattern here. So they decided, fuck it, let's drain the swamp. Let's scrape away all the mud and everything. They found a fucking road now. So it's getting absolutely insane.
So they think this might have been like a colonized area at one point. Like
they don't know, but whatever operation, it might have been like ancient military, but whatever happened there is completely undocumented. They don't know for sure what happened, and they were extremely advanced engineering. Like
it's wild, crazy.
But, so that's all cool. And like I said, I don't care if they find the treasure or not. I just want an answer as to what happened.
Yeah.
But here's the freaky part. Everybody knows that Christopher Columbus found North America in 1492.
Right.
They're dating things well before that.
Really?
Yes. Like they're dating, like they're proving things have like happened there based on like wood that was used and like styles of engineering and stuff that like was only used at certain periods of time, and certain like irons that were used for certain, the way that iron ore is made up. It was only used at a certain period in time.
So they think there might have been people over here before him.
Yes.
Well, we know for sure.
Well, I'm not talking about Native Americans, although it might very well have been that. It very well could have been like indigenous people to here, but they were well more organized than they've gotten to at this point.
Yeah,
still.
well, indigenous people, it'd be strange for indigenous people to set up at that time to set up something like that because they were nomadic.
Exactly.
They were moving around a lot. But do you know who are not nomadic?
Gypsies? No, they
Vikings.
move around. No, so that's a big part of it too. They're thinking a lot of Vikings. They're thinking
because the Vikings were over here. Was it like
what are those fucking guys called? Why is this slipping my mind now?
In like were Leif Erikson was in Newfoundland in like the late 900s or early thousands.
What are those fucking group of people that were like warriors way back in the day?
Vikings?
No, before that. Or maybe it was after that. Fuck, how is this word not coming to my mind right now? I feel like a fucking
Crusaders?
Yeah, so they've known already that Crusaders have been there and all that shit. Human history. I'm gonna fucking slap myself as soon as I see the word.
Like, from what part of the world would these warriors be from?
France. They'd be French.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
They would have like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Even I'm just trying to look on Wikipedia for the word real quick.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I think we're probably thinking the same thing. This is driving me fucking nuts.
They're knights, right?
Yeah. They fucking...
Yeah. Just what would a French...
The Knights Templar.
Yes.
Yes. Those.
Yes. So, dude, do you know what I wanted to say? Knights Valar.
Yeah. So here's the crazy part. 2, maybe 3 years ago or something like that. Maybe it was last year. I don't fucking know at this point.
Yeah.
They found a Knights Templar cross. So you know how they had like the Templar cross is like a normal cross, but it kind of like wings out, like it has bell bottom fucking jeans on or something. And it has like a circle at the top instead of just a normal like a T.
Yeah.
The top part has a little loop.
Sure.
They found a fucking like, it would have been like a necklace or maybe like a religious piece. They found one of those.
No way.
Yes. And in Knights Templars, that little circle, like nowadays everything's all perfect. So it's like a perfect circle. But back then, obviously jewelry and shit being made by hand, things were warped. They were a little wonky. They were a little crooked and shit.
Maybe a little more ovaled.
Right. These historically were, or this ornament thing that they found was a little like tilted to the side, to the right, let's say, like as if like the person's head's sideways, like Stephen Hawking style, you know? Like if the cross was a head, you know? So they go over to France. They see like dungeons where Knights Templar are known to have been like captured and like kept there as prisoners for many years.
Yeah.
And carvings on the wall are that same exact cross many times and always tilted just slightly to that side. It's like as if whoever...
Like it was purposeful.
Right. Whoever the person or persons that were in that prison cell, because there was many of them, that carved that specific hologram on the wall like more than once.
Yeah.
They're thinking also made this thing.
Really?
Right. Or that's just how it was like universally across the board. The Knights Templar cross had that little circle just tilted to the side. They found the fucking cross. They have it in their possession.
That's fucking
yeah,
crazy.
So they're thinking like we're talking Crusaders, Knights Templar, fucking like before Chris Columbus in 1492. But like they're thinking Vikings possibly. Like nobody knows yet.
Like that's so amazing because it's like how many different groups may have touched this area as well.
It's absolutely insane. It's like, and I've known about it like on a very low scale level.
Yeah.
My whole life because I've lived so close.
Yeah.
But then now that I've like that show started, like I know a little bit more. Like I could probably talk about it all fucking day because like there's so many theories and shit. It's just like, plus the show's a little wacky. Like they have a couple characters that are on there, and like I don't think the show is nearly as scripted as a lot of reality shows.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is like just a documentary of them trying to dig things up.
Right.
I just think that the people doing the brunt work aren't always on the camera. I think those are kind of the faces for the camera.
Right.
But there's like the fucking British guy that does this metal detecting. He's like, "Oh, I found a Bobby Dazzler." You know, he has this little saying. He's like, "Oh, that's a top pocket find," because he finds a coin, puts in his top pocket to show the team later.
Yeah,
like stupid shit like that. But
is Oak Island somewhere where you can visit at all?
It is.
Like, is there tours?
Yeah, they have tours there. The only thing is because the show is so popular in the United States, the tours are booked up all fucking summer, all the time. Every time they announce a date,
we should have went.
Yeah, so like,
we should see if we can go this summer.
Well, with COVID and all that, it might be a lot easier. But dude, I want to so fucking bad. Dude. Although, you know the crazy thing, if anybody else wants to try it, go for it. You'll see this is so fucking cool. Go to Google Earth, look at it, and then when you like grab the little guide that you can set down to do like your street view where you want.
Yeah.
If you're not on a road, there's like those little blue dots that pop up so you can see like on a beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pop those down anywhere. And some dude went there one time on one of these tours, had a 360 camera that could look all around, but he looks just fucking like me.
No way.
He looks just fucking like me.
That's so funny.
Let's see if I can find it real fucking fast here to show you so you can fucking see like how goddamn close this guy looks to me. And he even kind of dresses like I would too.
Man, I would be so into doing a tour like that. Like the history of Nova Scotia alone is so interesting. Like even going to places like York Rideau, which is an old military base, and it was a military base that continuously got repurposed through multiple different wars and was used right up until World War II. But yeah, the history of those places is so interesting. Or like the Citadel in the center of Halifax. Like we have a giant historical military base, like right in the center of our city. And
just scroll around here.
It's built into a hill.
So that York Redoubt place you were just talking about, back on like episode like 5 or 6 or something, I talked about a story about how I went on a field trip there and my fucking one friend went missing.
Oh my God, it's you with the tie.
That's what I'm saying. The fucking guy looks like me, man. Yeah, I went to York Riddle on a field trip when I was younger, and that's when my friend went missing from the school trip and got eaten by coyotes. I talked about this story one time.
What?
Yes, man, we talked about
I
this story.
don't remember this.
Dude, he went missing and got eaten by fucking coyotes. You really don't remember? Dude, this was on one of the early episodes of this show.
How do I not remember this?
I don't know, man. I have no fucking idea. I can't tell you. But no, like, we went on a school trip. I remember what I ate for lunch and everything. I remember where I sat. I remember what cannon I sat up against because there's like cannons there. We ate fucking egg salad. It was fucking disgusting. We had fucking macaroni salad as well. Yeah, that's it. Bring kids out into the hot heat and load fucking guts full of mayonnaise, basically. You know what I mean? But I remember not fucking liking lunch. I think I even hurled, but this kid named Jacob went missing during that field trip.
Yeah.
And we had to call the cops, the parents, everything. Like the field trip done, over. You know what I mean? Because at the time, there's a lot more wilderness around there than there is now. Like there's some neighborhoods and shit.
Still pretty is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he went missing. And I remember hearing about the fact that he got eaten by fucking coyotes. Like torn apart and all that shit, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, man. I'll remember that for until the day I die.
We watch a lot of, me and you both watch a lot of videos of
animals ripping
eating.
apart shit. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that would be a horrendous way to go out.
Yeah, especially when you're like fucking
a child.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how old I would have been. So it wasn't, when I say school trip, it was actually more like I don't know if I was even in school yet. It might have been like a full-time daycare or like kindergarten or like preschool or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's when it was. I don't think I was actually in like an organized school. I think I was just at a place I go when my mom's working. Like,
yeah.
You know? I'm pretty sure that's all it was based on my age that I'm remembering.
Man, York Rideau is so fucking cool though. Like,
can you still go through all the tunnels and shit? I haven't been there in a long time.
You can go through a lot of it. There's some stuff now that's really hard to get to.
And they're blocked off and shit?
Yeah, like, do you know if I were to say the turrets down on the beach?
Yeah.
Like, they're hard to get to now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta like hop some fences and shit to get into them.
Fuck.
Yeah, but they're super fucking cool. They're well worth it to go in and see them.
Have you ever explored like old abandoned places like that?
Yeah. So actually, the craziest one I ever did is this really old fucking hospital. It was behind the Miller Center in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And it was like creepy to the fucking max.
Was it just like an old building or a theater or something?
No, it was an old fucking hospital.
Oh, fuck
so
that.
when my mom was in nursing school in the late 80s, at that time it was a nursing college and residence for nurses, obviously, for nursing students.
Yeah.
But sometime shortly thereafter, it like went into disuse and fell into like really bad disrepair. I believe it was originally built in like the 1910s or maybe a little bit earlier, like late 1800s, and very like gothic-y castle style looking building. So before it was the nurses' college, it was an asylum.
Okay.
Like that's where people with like mental health issues went.
Yeah.
But obviously not treated very well throughout the early and mid 1900s. God, right up until like people, even still to this day, you could argue people get put in facilities like that. It's probably not a great time.
Yeah. Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest style hospital.
Yeah, 100%.
Those are way creepier than like a normal hospital.
Yes.
They're horrifying. And the paint choices.
That's the kind of hospital it was.
Oh, yeah. That's horrifying.
And we went in there, this would have been like 2006, 2007, like 16, 17 years old. And yeah, it was all fucking run down and fucked up. And then it was right downtown. And you were always told like, not to go in there and shit because there was like, there could be bums living in there.
Oh, I thought you meant told not to go in there and shit. My God.
No, but there was like bums living in there, and then there was like birds and rats and stuff, so there was like fucking bird shit everywhere. But man, we went in this one time only. It was like, of course, in the fall, so it would have been like late September, early October, right around spooky season.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went in, snuck in the night, and we're like going around in there, and it was still to this day the only time I have felt like the closest to something paranormal.
Fuck.
And it was so weird. You would go into certain rooms, and it sounds so cheesy and so silly, but it was exactly like what you think it is. There was still some old beds and stuff in there. There were still old wheelchairs and shit. Now, this stuff would have been from like the late 80s.
Yep.
But it was still fucking creepy. Like,
oh, big time.
Yeah, dude. It was so weird. And then now that building is turned into some of the highest priced condominiums in St. John's.
Really?
Yeah. So they went in completely fucking gutted it, kept the like bare bones of it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I don't think I could live there knowing that history.
Yeah, now it's like crazy fucking expensive condos. Or like townhouses, actually. So it was only a 3-story building. But there was this big, like, round column on the end with, like, that perfect fucking steeple top on it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, someone lives in that fucking end of it now. And it's crazy. It looks so, so cool. But, yeah.
This, in Northern Ontario, there was this prison just south of Sudbury where I lived in a town called Burwash.
Okay.
The population of Burwash today, I really wouldn't be surprised if it's less than 50.
Really?
Yeah, but they had a prison there at one point. It was a medium security prison.
Yeah.
But at the point where it was a medium security prison, we're talking like you had glass windows in the prison cells that you could just like lift up.
Right.
You just let air in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no fence around it. It was just a large field all around it.
Yeah.
And it was for people that were there for like relatively short prison stays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you beat up your wife or something and you got a fucking year. Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that way back, you know? It's long past closed and overgrown and all that. I went and explored it one time. Just one time. It's weird. I always wanted to go again, but fucking could never figure out friends on the day off that wanted to do it, or the weather was good because you had to like, it was down a fucking trail. Like you didn't just drive up to it.
Right.
Like it was fucking
Putting a little bit of work to get in there.
Oh yeah, you'd be fucking walking for probably like through like thick forest. Like I mean, there's a cleared out trail for like ATVs and stuff, so you could walk down that. But like the fucking mosquitoes and black flies, so you'd be walking. Fuck, man. I could guess and say a few miles.
Wow.
Yeah, which like that fucking takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
You know? But it was this prison. We explored the shit out of it one time. And so all around these fields that were there, yeah, like there was some creepy shit. Like you could tell like you found the medic bay and you could find the cafeteria, the rec center. You could tell what they sort of were, even though they were destroyed, graffiti, everything's smashed. People used to go there and play paintball, which would have been fucking sick.
Oh,
incredibly fun. That would have been wicked.
That would have been awesome.
But around in this field, because that, like I said, the prison, the cells, the windows just opened. Like they were just like wood painted white with, you know, you just lift up the window. You can just walk out basically to keep the prisoners from leaving. So there was guards obviously watching during the day and at night, so they couldn't escape through the cover of night or whatever. All to these fields, there was like tunnels underground that had like air holes. Like, so there were like manhole covers, like holes in the fucking ground, basically, that were like big enough for a person to fall in. So if you were running through the field to try to get out, you'd fall in one of these holes and you'd get into the tunnel and then they'd just come pull you back into the prison. And like, you can't get out. Once you're in that hole, you ain't getting out. Like it's far down.
Yeah.
I was exploring those, man. And that's when I got a friend of mine to take, still to this day, my favorite photo of me. There's me looking up. So that's not a skylight. Well, it's a skylight. That's me looking up one of those holes. Do I have the Mopar tattoo in that picture?
I can't see your...
Or do I have socks on or something? I can't remember. So anyway, that picture is fucking old as shit, man.
No, you don't have it.
That was one of my first... We'll put it this way. That was so old. That's one of my first ever Facebook profile photos from like 2006 or 7.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Can you explain this a little bit better?
Yeah.
So these holes were all out in the field.
Like landmines, just randomly placed.
So you'd fall down in there.
Yeah.
Right? Man, you'd get fucked up falling down in there.
Yes, you would. It's a far fall. I'd say maybe 15 feet.
And then how did you get into this place.
Ended up going down into the basement of this prison. We started walking down tunnels.
And you found these tunnels.
Yeah, we were smart enough, knowing full well we would get lost. So we had chalk, so we would mark things on the wall, so we knew which way was out, like leaving breadcrumbs for ourselves.
Dude, that must have been a little bit creepy.
Oh yeah, because like there was parts where it was like pitch black until you got into one of the little dungeon things. So like that light above me there. For anyone that's listening, I'll pop this picture back up on our Instagram tomorrow. After you hear this, but that light, that's not the ground right there. That tunnel, is probably like 8 feet high. So like you fall and you fall. Oh yeah, I don't know what this little thing is on the ground. It looks like just a metal contraption, maybe a shelf or something.
So when you went in there, was that like a room?
Yeah.
And was there a door on it?
No, it was just open. Like you could just walk down the tunnel. I don't even remember there being like a doorway. It was just like the tunnel just kind of ended at these. So picture one big tunnel, like a corridor, going probably the length of this field that surrounded the prison.
Yeah.
And they had little arms reaching out them. And those arms had little arms. So so picture basically a tree shaped. Like if you look at it from the sky down, and there was no grass and everything, it would look like a tree.
Right.
You know what I mean? They had a big trunk and then branches going up. And then those had little holes in them. Up, so you'd run through the field, you'd fall in this hole, and you'd be in this little cell sort of thing.
What a weird, intricate system to make instead of just building a fucking fence.
No shit. I think it was because this prison was about rehabilitation, and they didn't want you to feel trapped in there. So it's the complete opposite of what a prison would be today. Like they want you to just feel like you're fucking locked down and shit, right?
Yeah.
Like they wanted you to feel like you're out in the wilderness and like. That's it. You can see trees, you can see grass, like you're free to go sort of thing. You can open the window and just go. Like they wanted you to be like, you have to live here. And like, we'll put it this way, the cell doors, like there was a couple of cells that were like normal prison bars.
Yeah.
But most of them were just a straight up door.
Like just like a door to your bedroom.
Like made out of wood. Yeah. Like they were made out of wood. Cause I remember we were shooting through them and stuff. We brought a 22 with us.
Yeah. Man,
there's me in some, I don't know what, like maybe like, some other room, there's me holding a fucking rifle. We were shooting stuff.
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
What a creepy looking building.
Oh, it was horrifying, man. Horrifying. And the worst part is I was only there with one other friend. Yeah. So while we're there, we all of a sudden heard a ton of fucking voices.
No.
And fucking people going on, and then we ended up finding them. And it was just a bunch of people that were going to play paintball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was super jealous. Like, oh fuck, man. I always wanted to go back. You couldn't go with like, let's say me and 5 friends want to go play paintball. Not enough. You'd lose unless you like living on the edge, like as in like you never know when the person is. I'd rather like a big team, like 10v10 at least.
Yeah.
Like because this was not a small prison.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was really fucking cool. That was one of the only places abandoned that I think I've ever explored.
Yeah, I've done the old Miller Center or Nurses College, and then another interesting one I did was the Grace Hospital in downtown Newfoundland or in downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, which was a really interesting one because when we first moved back to Newfoundland from Toronto when I was like a toddler, that's where my mom worked. So I remember going in there through the mid to late 90s and early 2000s, like going in to see mom at work or, whatever.
Yeah.
Then again, around the same time, I guess that's 16, 17, 18. That's when you kind of go and have a car so you can go into these abandoned places and fucking check them out. Mm-hmm. But it was very interesting. So we got into that one as well. But I had been in that place when it was like alive and vibrant and it was being used like it was a hospital. And it was in particular, like there was a big birthing suite and stuff in there, which is where my mom worked doing labor and delivery.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could go around in there. And it was strange going back in there and seeing it abandoned and like shut down and all fucked up and stuff after having been in there as a kid and seeing it operational. But yeah, that was those are the 2 biggest ones I've done. I've done a bunch of like abandoned houses and cottages and stuff.
Yeah,
as well.
I've been in those sort of things, but those don't give me the heebie-jeebies like that fucking prison. No. We'll put it this way. If the sun started going down when we were in that prison, I would not have fucking stayed.
You would have been out quick.
Oh yes, man.
I've never been in a prison abandoned or functional, and it is something that is of great interest to me. I have no interest in being in prison for like being told I have to be there. I actually have such a severe fear of prison, like a complete irrational, like horrendous fear of prison.
You have nothing to fear. You're a white guy. Shave your head when you get in and you'll be just fine.
Dude,
It's that cut and dry.
I would rather truthfully be dead than someone tell me I have to be somewhere for a night.
Really?
My psyche would not be able to deal with it.
No shit.
Yeah, because I've always been the kind of person, like I just could never deal with something like that. I could never deal with not having the option to be like, no, I don't want to.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that bad. I mean, my longest stay was 5 days, so that doesn't really count, but
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
I could probably. It depends on what luxuries I have. I know a guy that we know, his brother just got out after, I think, being in there for 8 years or something for attempted murder. Just got out Thursday, 2 days ago.
No way.
Yeah. And he's in a halfway house and shit now. But like he looked like he was living the life. He made more money in there than
How?
his brother did outside. Still hustling, selling drugs, selling canteens, you know. People will do some weird shit so they can get a fucking hit of acid when they're in prison or get some meth or whatever.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, put it this way. He had like an iPhone, like a cell phone.
Yeah.
And for like a cell phone like that, like nowadays, they're not little tiny phones anymore. You can't just hoop one and fucking get away. Now it's at the point you're greasing guards and shit.
Yeah, is that how that level of contraband works?
Yeah. Guards are getting paid. And plural guards. Not one.
Yeah.
Several.
Like multiple know that it's okay if you see X person with this.
Well, it's like it's all like it's like an organized sort of thing, but we'll put it this way. When he sold the phone, he sold a cell phone for $10,000.
What?
Yeah. He sold a cell phone. Like
When he was leaving to another inmate?
Yeah. So he sold it to him for 10 grand and could have gotten 50.
Man, can you imagine being like, I just can't imagine being in that situation.
Like I've seen this guy. Like I don't know this person that was in the jail. Like, but I'm pretty good friends with his brother that I said we both know. Tell you after. I've watched them like on Snapchat and stuff. The guy was like living the life in there. He had like TV. He had a fucking stereo. He had fucking like a ton. He had a whole store operating out of his cell basically.
Yeah.
And cops just kind of
Or the guards.
they just kind of let it happen.
Man, I know a guy who just recently went in, which is kind of fucked up because it seemed like for a little while they weren't going to put, because he was nonviolent, first offense, like a bunch of different stuff. And he did get like caught on trafficking charges. But there was for a lot of reasons, it seemed like he wasn't going to go. But anyways, he ended up going. And he was telling me, the prison that he was going to, he had his own room. He was allowed, with his mini fridge, he was allowed to bring in his own TV. He brought in Nintendo 64.
Holy fuck.
PS1. There was a few things he was allowed to bring in. For some reason, he couldn't bring in, I don't think he could bring in devices that could connect to the internet.
Which makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so like he couldn't have like a PS3 or PS4 or anything that had Wi-Fi. But yeah, so he brought in like a bunch of shit with him, a bunch of books. Like he was basically like moving in.
That'd be kind of fun to do for a summer. You know?
Well,
play floor hockey in the days.
He's in for like, I think it was a 2-year sentence, but he figures he'll probably be out in like a year and a half type thing.
Probably less, yeah.
Yeah, but it's very interesting, like different people's experience. Oh, got conjugal visits, like
fuck,
all that shit. Yeah.
So he had a good lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what he had to do or what he had to give up to get that, but I still wouldn't be able to do it. Fuck that.
No?
Sounds terrible.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, and this guy, he's a very funny guy, but he was actually excited to go in there. Like, he was like, this is going to be a great time for me to really work on my physique, like, get in really good shape, get to the size I want to be. Like, I'm really excited to read and all this shit. And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
If you gave me, like, a high-speed internet connection, because I wouldn't get fucking irritated going, oh, fucking taking so long.
Yeah.
So I could stay, like, mentally fine with that. Give me a high-speed internet connection, and I could probably handle a couple years without batting an eye. Because between like access to YouTube and Instagram and like looking at funny memes and stuff, I could probably just fucking get by.
Man, a really good friend of mine, actually, he just he's sailing for his first time. He just left port 2 days ago. He's Coast Guard. And actually, his job on the ship is he's IT. So he has to make sure they have satellite for television and for internet.
Yeah.
But basically, he said that even with the most sophisticated technology that they can have for internet on that ship, he was like, when you're sailing, he's like, he has to throttle everybody's internet. Because like everybody can be on Wi-Fi and stuff. And you can use like Messenger and services to that regard. But you can't be like looking at like videos, like streaming porn, all that kind of stuff. But man, his setup actually looks pretty sick. So he handles like all that stuff for the entire ship. He's the only one on there who does like IT basically.
Yeah.
And like deals with all the radar and sonar systems, not using them, but ensuring that they work.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of his room. So like he has his bed, and then he has like a desk next to his bed with like his whole setup. And like a mini fridge and all that shit. Then he has a TV up on the wall as well and a DVD player. We were joking, and I brought up the Girls Gone Wild stuff. He had to get porn DVDs to bring out with him.
Because he couldn't watch it streaming.
Because he couldn't stream it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so like he downloaded some porn on his computer, got some DVDs and shit. Because he's out there for fucking 5 weeks.
Fuck that.
Yeah, they're sailing through the St. Lawrence.
No shit.
Yeah. Which is pretty fucking cool. And like, that's pretty, I'm sure he's going to dock a bunch of times.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know right now if they're allowed to like go out to bars and restaurants and stuff when they
Doubtful.
are. Yeah, just because of COVID.
Fucking COVID. Man.
I don't know if I'd want to be going out to fucking bars and shit in Montreal.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, COVID-19.
Hey, Montreal, eh?
Hey, oui, oui.
I got a fucking quick question for Cock Talk here.
Ooh.
Fellas, get ready.
Yeah.
To impress a chick. Helicopter dick.
Woo.
Helicopter dick. Helicopter dick. All right. To impress a chick. Do the helicopter dick.
Dude, how fucking big do you think Shaquille O'Neal's dick is?
I would say
Like, this guy's fucking
9 1/4 inch.
Part of me wonders if that's considered small for a guy that size.
Maybe. I guarantee you, that poor young lady that he's fucking, like, she gotta have a hard time with it.
Remember when he was, what was it, at the end of Freddy Got Fingered. He was in bed with the wife at the end of Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, yes!
At the very, very fucking end.
Yes!
And he was wearing black boxers and he was fucking doing like this little thrusting thing. He had a huge package jingling around in there.
Dude, is there anything out there about it? You would think some girl who fucked him would have, like, you know, not a picture of it, but be, man, I'm going to Google Shaquille O'Neal's dick right now. Is this real?
This is awesome.
Shaquille O'Neal penis.
I typed Shaq's cock, so maybe we can see
length.
two different things.
Whoa! What the fuck?
What did you find? I found a website called 2 Dogs 1 Blog.
Yeah.
WordPress says realistically, how big is Shaq's dick? Shaq's dick, but we're going to find out given the number of physical characteristics, blah, blah, blah.
They estimate it at 13.2 inches.
Oh my God, I believe that.
Holy Jesus.
He's shoe size. If that has 18 inches long.
There is a lot of Reddit threads about this.
The black consideration.
Dude, there's a lot. Do you know what is the most fucked up thing ever? There's a lot of Reddit threads about this because you can only imagine it. It's a bunch of white dudes want to know how big his dick is.
So the average of our 3 proportionate categories is as follows. Dick to height, 7.5 inches. Dick to his weight, like distribution or whatever, 13.4 inches. Dick to shoe size, if that has a real correlation, 15.1 inches. So the average between 7.5, 13.4, 15.1 is 12 inches.
Oh.
But then they say this, adjusted black man consideration plus 10%. So another 1.2 inches. So they're thinking 13.2.
Holy fuck,
That
man.
is fucking, I rest my case is how the blog ends. Unbelievable.
His lady is tiny. Like, she's tiny for a normal human.
Dude, everyone is tiny compared to Shaq.
For sure.
Do you remember when KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, had those basketballs they would give out with the combo that had like a handprint of his on it?
No.
Dude, oh man, those were fucking classic fucking... If you had one of those, you knew your family was getting KFC. KFC, Shaq.
Oh, I do
basketball.
remember these.
It was just, that was like an actual palm print of his on a basketball.
Dude, I had one of those.
Yes, man. I remember putting my hand on it. I didn't even cover like half his palm.
That's fucked. Dude, the way he would pick up a basketball would be the way we'd pick up a baseball.
Basically, yeah.
It's fucked up. Man. Oh, no. I fucking lost it. Just like that.
Just like that. It's gone.
Oh, yeah. But that KFC basketball was fucking sick. That was so fucking
KFC
cool.
had a couple wicked toys over the years.
Oh, dude.
Like, actually, I only think they had 2 that I cared about. They had that, and they had the whoopee ball. Do you remember the whoopee ball?
I don't.
Or maybe it was called a whoopee or something. It was a beach ball, but it was like cut in half. So like on the inside, so it's still a ball, but the inside, so there was 2 compartments. You'd put a little bit of water in one side, so when you hit the beach ball, it would go whoop 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 whoop, whoop through the air.
No way.
Oh my god, yes! You don't remember that for real?
No.
Whoopee ball. I think it was called a whoopee ball. Whoopee ball. No, I don't think that was it at all. No, I'm finding whoopee cushions and shit.
What I was going to say, though,
KFC.
Did you ever see, back to Shaq real quick, did you ever see the grappling match between him and Forrest Griffin?
No.
Dude, it's very lighthearted.
It's called Oopie Ball.
Oopie Ball.
Oopie.
What sound did it make?
Whoop, 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 through the air, because the way it would like randomly spin, it wouldn't spin like a normal ball because the way it was so fucked up
What
in
did
it.
it look like?
Normal beach ball, but
Okay.
let's see if I can find. Fuck off. Oopie ball. So there it is. Just see what I mean? Just normal everyday fucking beach ball, like nothing crazy. But through the middle of it, there was like a little seam inside, so you could pour a little bit of water on one side. So when you'd hit it, the thing would go whoop 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 whoop, whoop through the air, like fuck.
And it would move weird.
It'd be super weird to try to find. I wonder if I can pull up on YouTube someone playing with an oopie ball. Oopie ball.
Yeah, while you're looking for that, though, Shaq and Forrest Griffin had a grappling match, and it was fucking hilarious. So Forrest Griffin is a monster light heavyweight. He was fucking huge. Like 6'4", 250, 260 pounds. And Shaq made him look like a child. Like an absolute tiny little human being by comparison.
The average person spends 73 hours a year practicing yoga. When you add Audible, you can build your core while getting centered.
I'm getting fucking random ads and shit.
Is that coming through the Bluetooth or coming through your phone into the mic?
Nah, I don't really know.
Have you hooked your new phone up to the Bluetooth on the soundboard?
Probably not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Because you got one of them cool fucking moon phones. Okay.
I wonder if it's gonna make the noise. This is the commercial.
Poopy.
Classic, buddy.
Dude. This is some 90s shit right here.
It says Kentucky Fried Chicken on the box, not just KFC.
Poopy is the ball, and it's free.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Real taste of living.
Dude, that's sick. I don't know. It doesn't show the fucking thing playing. There's not a single video of someone playing with one.
What do you think?
I wonder where you could fucking buy one. Is there like a retro website or something that you can go and buy that kind of stuff?
Man, 90s commercials were on a whole different level.
Whole different level. Like the fucking music and everything.
They
the
were
fucking colors.
so creative.
And how like whacking in their face there was like, have you been hurt in an accident? Is your leg broken? Are you suffering an aneurysm? You are entitled to money, money, money.
Oh,
like,
man, I was when I think of 90s commercials, I don't think of that. I think of like KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, McDonald's. Like,
hey kids, do you know what time it is? Yeah. Like, and then they tell you something stupid like, it's time for a Zoom ball. Do you remember Zoom balls?
no.
They're footballs with a string going through them, 2 strings,
Oh,
and you'd
do
fucking
remember
you'd
those.
spread your arms real quick, whoo, and the ball would go zoom. And then they made them Zoom ball splash, so you could
Yes.
like open it up and throw a little bit of water balloons in there.
Yeah.
Psh, oh fuck, man, yes!
Man,
My
the
childhood
toys,
was
like,
fucking wicked.
The Nerf toys, like Hasbro commercials, like movie trailers.
Yep,
Oh, fuck, dude.
all the fun stuff, man. That's probably why I'm like. So I saw this meme the other day, and I have no idea if there's any legitimacy to it at all. But it said people with high anxiety like to relive their past and watch the same shows again because they know what happens, and there's no surprises.
Right.
And like, I've never, not even one time in my life, considered myself to be someone that has anxiety about anything because I just don't care. But I only watch stuff I've already watched. Like
You do.
other
You
than
watch
sports.
very little. You don't watch anything new that's
No.
scripted.
TV shows, I only watch stuff I've already seen, with the exception of Oak Island. Now they went and said it, and
Yeah.
and sports. But I only watch shows I've already seen, like
Yeah.
many times. Movies, I don't watch new movies.
No.
I don't explore new music.
No.
Like I don't, and I like fucking looking at my like things that I've done in my past. Like look at my fucking Instagram story. It's
Yeah.
always just memories of things that I did.
Yeah, because you just watch Fresh Prince, Seinfeld, CSI.
I don't even watch CSI. Like I watched them that one. I was in that one little zone for a bit. But Fresh Prince, CSI, Home Improvement, fucking Trailer Park Boys, I'll watch again and again.
Yeah, man.
But Seinfeld is the one show that, without question, I've never gotten bored of. Like Fresh Prince, honestly, if I'm watching through the seasons right now, when
Yeah.
I'm done, I ain't gonna watch that all again for another couple years. But
Right.
Seinfeld, I can watch it through and start over and like just it be the only show I watch.
Just keep going.
Yeah, because every single time I watch an episode, I see something new and I catch another joke that like even the crowd didn't laugh at, and I'm like, fucking so good. He pointed it out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Is it time?
It's oh, I blew up my ACL. Just call me fucking Ryan Buffer here. Dude, that would be a sick name, Ryan Buffer.
Ryan Buffer. That would be a really nice name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's really weird? My brother's been really into the podcast lately,
Yep.
like listening a lot. And sometimes he'll ask me a question about you, but he only refers to you as Ryan, which fucks me up sometimes. Because, like, when we're doing this, I feel like I've gotten very good at referring to
Yeah,
you
you
as
haven't called
Ryan
me
now.
Johnny in a long time now.
I know. But it's still weird. Like, for somebody in real life to refer to you as Ryan
Yeah.
fucks me up.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just weird. Because, like, even Anita, so Anita's been on the podcast before.
But she probably knows me more as Ryan than Johnny at this point. We've met in person
but she
4
calls
times.
you Johnny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like the majority of people we spend time with call you Johnny.
Yeah.
But yeah, my brother only calls you Ryan.
That's so wicked.
I
love it.
You're
Keep it going.
changing your name. Yeah.
Keep it going. Dude, so we're going to go, just for anyone listening, we're about to watch the fucking greatest UFC card in fucking years, probably.
Oh, dude.
We'll
madness.
break that down very much so in the next fights episode, of course.
Yep.
But let me just tell you, I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm not really into shit, but let me tell you, I would love to watch like a female UFC fighter or female WWE wrestler just load her fucking drawers in the middle of a match. Like, just fucking load them.
Wait, it happened recently.
that girl that shit herself there a couple years ago in the
Yeah.
US. Yeah, but that wasn't like super obvious. That was like
you want to see like a full shit.
I
Wait,
think-
why does it have to be a chick?
because that would be funnier. 'Cause I want to know
You're
what they
fucked.
do. Like any dude would just kind of laugh it off. Like,
Yeah, Forrest Griffin.
right? Yeah, exactly.
He ran out of the cage crying. That's a real story.
It's 'cause
When
I-
Keith Jardine knocked him out, he shit himself.
Yeah.
And ran away.
When I was watching AEW wrestling or something the other day, the way this one girl was moving, I thought she shit herself literally, and then I had to look at her ass and realized no, didn't. But it was just weird for a second.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's got me thinking I would love to watch one just load their like. Imagine Sasha Banks, the legit boss, just loading her fucking
Shit her
drop.
pants. Oh,
That would be so fucking funny. Anyway, you can find us on Instagram at Dudes Talking Shit. Find Ryan on Instagram at Drunk Ryan, and you can find Travis on Instagram at
Tfan23.
Send them your dick pics.
Later, shitheads.